Do you hate your wage slave corporate job? Do you feel like your creativity and ambition is being sucked out of your body in the name of driving up shareholder value? When you come home from work, are you tempted to stick that iron in your mouth and pull that trigger? Don't worry, I'm here to help. Today, I'll be concocting a list of the best drugs you can take at work to make your day that much better. For this list, the main job I'll be focusing on is your standard 9 to 5 office job where you're stuck in your 3x3 cubicle. So keep that in mind. And depending on the job, this list could look completely different. So without further ado, we got over 20 entries for this and some obscure drugs you wouldn't expect to see on this list. So let's get started. Now, this one's kind of obvious. Everyone is doing drugs in the office, and that starts with caffeine. It's a solid entry because who doesn't love their cup of coffee in the morning? It's a nice little pick-me-up. But once you start drinking coffee every day, it just doesn't really do anything besides make you want to shit. So for that, there's definitely some better pick-me-ups in this list, but it's a very solid entry. You can't go wrong with it. A tier. Next up, we got another popular choice. It's alcohol. This one depends on how much you're drinking and what you're mixing it with. Clearly, you can't just bring a grain belt into work. This is more hitman style. We need to, put some whiskey in the coffee and get an extra boost to your morning. If you only put a couple shots in and that's it, I could see this also being in the A tier. But there's some people who decide to drink more, and that's where things could go horribly wrong. As well as it's a little bit harder to cover up. People might be able to smell it on your breath. So remember, this is a covert operation, and we can't get caught. So alcohol is going into the B tier. Weed. This is a tricky one, and it really just depends on who you are and how it affects you. Now, this is in 2018. We're not smoking carts. We're not taking dabs. That's some little kid shit. We just smoke bud. So if we're smoking bud, that's not very smart because everyone you walk past is going to know you're fried and our cover is blown. But let's say we do smoke beforehand and we don't stink. Personally, when I get fried, I go nonverbal and get scared. So the last thing I want to do is talk to my boss or my coworkers. But if that doesn't happen to you, I could easily see this being B or above. But for me personally, it's a C tier. Molly is up next, and you know what? Rolling in the office doesn't sound too bad. You get your upbeat energy that's so infectious other people are also on the same wave as you. Now we can't take too much since that's where the visuals start getting a little bit funky. But in low doses, this could be one of the best pick-me-ups on this list. And if the lighting is good, no one is going to see just how dilated your pupils are. A tier. Coke. I have a theory on this one, and my theory is that there's got to be a bunch of people in the office just railing lines in the bathroom, especially with the higher-ups, because their job is safe, and they don't have to worry about getting fired. So why not do a line in your office? Your boss is wearing shades? Yeah, buddy. We all know why. If you're a higher up, then, without a doubt, this is an S tier. But for us wage slaves, I think I'd rather do Molly than Coke at the job. B tier. Meth. I think this depends on how you're taking it, but if you do take it, you are going to be increasing shareholder value by a lot. And you might increase it so much you could get a raise. Listen. If you can use meth and take France in 6 weeks, then you can take meth and increase shareholder value by 50% in just a couple days. C tier. ADHD meds. Your Adderall, your Vyvanse, your Ritalin. Now this could be fun and make work enjoyable. This could be the ultimate pick-me-up, the best one you'll ever see. You get the energy boost as well as having fun doing your work. And the best part, if your boss walks up to you and goes, "Hey Michael, why are you sweating so much? Why do you look so enthusiastic? Why you kind of look like you're tweaking a little bit." "Well, boss, my doctor prescribed me 50 milligrams of Adderall, so take that." I truly believe this is an S tier. Next up, we have LSD. And this is another tricky one, and I already know where I'm putting it. It's going into C tier because of these two things. If you're microdosing at work, then this is an easy S tier. It doesn't really get much better than that. It's just a slight little mental shift, but everything is so jolly and whimsical. But if you mistakenly take too much and you have a full-on trip, then it's without a doubt F tier. So to meet in the middle, it's going into the C tier. It really just depends on how much you take. Shrooms. I'd like to say everything I said about LSD applies to shrooms, but if someone in the comments wants to correct me, be my guest. But for now, it's going into the C tier. Here's an oddball one. I got a curveball for you. Datura. Boy, oh boy. You gotta be a madman in order to do this. This is some real deal fear and loathing, and only something you would do if you want to get fired, or you're doing it for research purposes. I don't know. Either way, F tier. Lean. This one might surprise you, but I'm putting this as the strongest B. Now hear me out. It's incredibly covert. You can just pour up in your company coffee cup and no one will ever know. It's also pretty light on the opiate effects, so you're not extremely geeked. And one of the best parts is that you can pace yourself. The only really things you'd have to worry about is maybe someone grabs your cup to take a drink out of it. I don't see that happening. I think the real main things you'd have to worry about is throwing up and getting fat. Next up is Oxy. This is even more covert than lean, since it's just one funny little pill you can take, or snort, whatever your preference is. However, this is gonna smack you way harder than lean, and you could be in the middle of a call and you just start nodding off. It's not very ideal. But if you can still function, I think this is a solid B. F is for fentanyl. You're not gonna be doing your job. Remember, we still need to increase shareholder value, and we can't do that if we're overdosing. Xanax. I can't see Xanax anywhere else besides D tier. Instead of increasing shareholder value, we are actively decreasing it by stealing all of the laptops. Benadryl. The Hat Man will come for you if you take this at work. This is another F tier, no-brainer. But above fentanyl, only because you're less likely to die. But don't get it twisted. You're still liable to die. If you take Benadryl at work, I'm just going to assume you love your job so much that you want your final moments to be in your cubicle. Next up, we have Whippets. This one would be funny. Imagine your coworker just whips out the nitrous. It's not very stealthy, huh? But at least with Whippets, you're nowhere near as likely to die. So just for that, it's going above Benadryl and fentanyl, and even Datura, but it's still F tier nonetheless. Kratom. This all depends on what strain or what leaf you're taking, but at least this one is legal, or at least in some little gray area. I think if you want to take a red leaf or whatever, just pop a 5 milligram of Oxy and make that commute to work. But overall, this is much safer than about 90% of the entries, so that deserves some points. C tier. Honey packs. Yeah, we have honey packs on here. I try to include a little bit of everything. I think the main question is, why would you take this at work? I have no idea. Maybe you and a coworker are getting frisky in the bathroom, or you just want people to see your boner as you walk past them as part of a power move. This one is a little bit confusing, but either way, it's going into the D tier. Blue Chews. Literally the exact same thing. It's just another Y. D tier. DMT. Sure, you can hit the DMT cart in the bathroom, and sure, the trip won't last very long. But again, why? What's the point in taking it? But since it's going into the D tier, here's my hot take. I would much rather take a honey pack or a Blue Chew over DMT, especially at work. So it's going below those two, but still above Xanax. Next up is Ambien. After reading a bunch of trip reports, the one constant thing I said during all of it was, what? So just off of that, it's going into the F tier. I think if you took this at work, you're probably going to be doing everything besides working. Ketamine, another Y entry. If you want a K-hole at work, I think you're just going to get fired and that will immediately end up in F tier. But at lower doses, I think it could be the best entry in D tier. So assuming you do it in low doses, it'll take the crown as the best option in D tier. But it's still a major why would you do this? And for our final entry, we have Salvia. I mean F tier. F tier. Do I really need to elaborate? You can't increase shareholder value if you're in space or living 30 years as a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. You just can't. So there we have it. Now keep in mind, this is my list. Yours could look completely different, and you could look at mine and think, man, he is so wrong. If you do hold that opinion, let me know where you have certain entries at in the comments. This was another dumb/fun video idea I had, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, dislike, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you thought of the video. Thank you for watching, and Michael is out.